Good morning students. In this video I will explain electrical transducer and different types of electrical transducer. In majority of measurement systems, electrical elements serves as the secondary transducer while the mechanical member serves as the primary detector transducer, and output is generally a displacement. The electrical element serving as the secondary transducer transduces the displacement into the electrical quantity, namely voltage or current. The basic electrical charge may be resistive, inductive, capacitive, or any of the spatial changes. So now we discuss one by one. First one is the resistive transducers. The resistance of an electrical conductor varies according to the relation R is equal to rho L divided by A, where R is the resistance in ohms, ohm is the resistivity of the material in ohm centimeter, L is the length of the conductor in centimeter, A is the area of cross sectional of the conductor in centimeter square. Some of the types of this resistive transducer. First one is the sliding contact devices. The sketch of the sliding contact device is shown in the figure. So this is the slide, this is the guide rod, this is the resistance element. So sliding contact resistive transducer, as shown in the figure, converts mechanical displacement into an either voltage or current output. This is achieved by changing the effective length of the conductor in equation 1. So the equation 1 is R equal to rho L divided by A. The slide of the conductor maintains electrical contact with a resistance element as it slides along the guide rod. The effective resistance existing between either end of the resistance element and the slide is the measure of the linear displacement of the slide. These types of devices are used for sensing relatively large displacements. The second type is potentiometer. It's also called as angular motion variable resistance. So this is the resistance wire wound around a card, and this is the slide. The resistance element may be formed by wrapping a resistance wire around a card, as shown in the figure. In this, the effective resistance between the either end of the resistance element and the slide is a measure of angular displacement of the slide. Then resistance strain gauges. The resistance strain gauges works on the principle of variation of the all three quantities, that is resistivity rho, length L, and cross sectional area A of the conductor. In order to bring about a change in resistance, if an electrical conductor is stretched or compressed, its resistance changes due to the variation in both the length and its diameter of the conductor. So in addition, there is a change in the value of the resistivity of the conductor when it is strained and is called a piezoresistance. Hence, resistance strain gauges are also known as a piezoresistive gauges. Piezoresistive gauges. And fourth is the resistance thermometers. When temperature changes, the resistance of the conducting material also changes. This principle is used to measure the temperature. The variation of resistance R with temperature T for the most metal is given by the relation R is equal to R0 into bracket 1 plus alpha 1 T plus alpha 2 T square plus so on alpha n T raised to n plus so on. So here R0 is the resistance at temperature T is equal to 0, and alpha 1, alpha 2, alpha n are the constants. The requirement of a conductor material used in resistance thermometer is that the change in the resistance of the material per unit change in temperature should be as large as possible. Next one is the thermistors or thermal resistors. The different types of thermistors are shown. So this is a bead type, then this is the rod type, then it is the disc type. So these are the leads. So thermistors are thermally sensitive variable resistors made of ceramic like semiconducting material. They behave as resistors with a high negative temperature coefficient of resistors. For example, the resistance of a thermistor at a room temperature is decreased by 5% for 1 degree centigrade rise with the temperature. This high sensitivity to temperature changes make the thermistors useful for precision temperature measurements, control and compensation. They are widely used in the temperature range of minus 60 degrees centigrade to plus 15 degrees centigrade. The construction, the thermistors are composed of sintered mixture of metallic oxides such as magnesium, nickel, cadmium, copper, iron and uranium. They are available in a variety of shapes and sizes like beads, rods and discs as shown in the figure. Now classification of variable inductive transducer. Based on the fundamental principle used, inductive transducers are classified as follows. Variable self-inductance. Under this, first one is single coil, simple variable permeance. Second is two coil, single coil with a center tap connected for induction ratio. Second type of the variable inductive transducer is variable mutual induction. Here first one is simple two coil, second is three coil, third is variable reluctance. First one is moving iron, B is moving coil, C is moving magnet. So one by one we will discuss these transducers. Variable self-inductance, so single coil transducers, as is shown in the figure. So this is the air gap, so this is the exciter, meter, the displacement. When a single coil used as a transducer element, the mechanical input change the permeance of the flux path generated by the coil, thereby changing its induction. This change in induction can be measured by suitable circuit indicating the value of the input. As shown in the figure, the flux path may be changed by change in the air gap. However, the change in either the amount or type of the core material may also be used. Second one is called variable self-inductance. Here two coil, in bracket single coil with a center tap. So here it is a non-magnetic material. So center is a core member, core of the magnetic material. So figure shows two coil self-inductance which will be like a single coil with center tap. Movement of the core alters the relative inductance of the two coils. These transducers are usually incorporated in inductive bridges circuit in which variation in the induction ratio between the two coils provides the output. This is used as a secondary transducer for pressure measurements. Next one is the variable mutual inductions. Two coils. So figure A, figure B. So mutual inductance using two coils are shown in figure A and B. In figure A, the flux from the power coil is coupled to a pickup coil which supplies the output input information in the form of armature displacement, changes the coupling between the coils. The air gap between the core and the armature govern the degree of coupling. Figure B shows the detector position of an electric micrometer. The inductive coupling between the coils, which depends on the permeance of the magnetic flux path, is changed by the relative position of the permeable material. The variation of this can be used in the transducer for measuring the small internal diameter. Then variable mutual induction 3 coil, it's also called as LVDT. The variable mutual induction 3 coil type transducer is a linear variable differential transducer or linear variable differential transformer. It provides an AC voltage output for proportional to the displacement of the core passing through the windings. The center coil is energized from an AC power supply and the two coils connected in phase opposition are used as a pickup coils. Next one is the variable reluctance transducer. Figure shows a simple type of reluctance pickup consisting of a coil wound on a permanent magnetic core. Any variation of the permeance of the magnetic circuit causes a change in the flux, which is brought about by serrated surfaces subjected to movement. As the flux speed expands or collapses, a voltage is induced in the coil. The reluctance transducer used in practice consists of a moving coil and a stationary magnet or a stationary coil or moving magnet. This is the principle employed in seismic instruments used as a vibration pickups or an acceleration pickup. Correspondingly, they are called vibrometers or accelerometers. Then capacitive transducer. The principle of operation of capacitive transducer is based on the capacitance of a capacitor. The variation of in the capacitance are used to produce measuring of many physical phenomena like dynamic pressure measurement, displacement, force, humidity, and in the measurement of liquid or gas levels. The equation for calculating the capacitance is given by C is equal to 0.088 K A into bracket n minus 1 divided by D. So unit is picofarads, where K is the dielectric constant. For air, the value of K is equal to 1. A is the area of one side of the one plate in centimeter square. N is the number of plates and D is the separation of plate surfaces. Capacitive transducer. So there are three main types of capacitive transducer. So first one is changing dielectric constant. So figure is shown. So here this is a liquid, this is the central electrode surrounding hollow tubes with openings. So figure shows a device used for the measurement of liquid level in a container. The capacitance between the central electrode and surrounding hollow tubes varies with the changing the dielectric constant brought about by changing the liquid level. So thus the capacitance between the electrode is a direct indication of the liquid level. Variation in dielectric can also be utilized for measurement of thickness and density, etc. Next one is the capacitor transducer changing the area. So this is the air gap. So sleeve with the internal member with having a serration. So capacitor changes depending on the change in the effective area. This is the principle used in the secondary transducing element of a torque meter. So this device uses a sleeve with a serrations cut axially and a matching internal member with a similar serrations as shown in the figure. The torque carried by an elastic member causes a shift in the relative position of the serrations, thereby changing the effective area, resulting in the capacitance change may be calibrated to read the torque directly. Next, capacitive transducer changing the distance. So distance between the fixed electrode and the diaphragm. So change in the distance D. The capacitor varies inversely as the distance between the plates varies. That is, the capacitor increases as the distance between the plate decreases, and vice versa. Figure shows a capacitive type pressure transducer wherein pressure applied to the diaphragm changes the distance between the diaphragm and the fixed electrode. This change in distance between the diaphragm and the fixed electrode can be taken as a measure of the pressure. Then photoconductive transducer. So this is a semiconductor cadmium sulfide material. This is a battery, meter, ammeter. So light. The principle of transducer is shown in the figure. A voltage is impressed on the cadmium sulfide semiconductor material when a light strikes the semiconductor material. The resistance decreases, thereby producing an increase in the current indicated by the meter. Photoconductive transducers are used to measure the radiation at all wavelengths, but extreme experimental difficulties are encountered when operating with a long wavelength radiation. Next one is piezoelectric transducer. Certain materials can produce an electrical potential when subjected to mechanical strain, or conversely can change a dimension when subjected to voltage. This is called piezoelectric effect. As shown in the figure, piezoelectric crystal is placed between two plate electrodes. When a force is applied for the plates, a stress will be produced in the crystal and corresponding deformation. This induced charge on the crystal is proportional to the impressed force and is given by Q is equal to D into F, where Q is in coulombs, F is in newtons, and the proportionality constant D is called piezoelectric constant. The output voltage of the crystal is given by, so this is the output voltage, is given by E is equal to GTP, where T is the thickness of the crystal in meters, P is the impressive pressure in newtons per meter square, and G is called voltage sensitivity and is given by G is equal to D divided by strain. Piezoelectric transducers are used to measure surface roughness, strain, force, torque, pressure, motion, sound and noise. So next one is photoelectric transducer. The circuit showing the photoelectric transducer. So this is the cathode and this is the anode. They are fixed in a evacuated tube. So a photoelectric transducer converts a light beam into a usable electric signal as shown in the figure. Light strikes the photoemissive cathode and releases electrons which are attracted towards the anode, thereby producing an electric current in the circuit. The cathode and anode are enclosed in a glass or quad envelope which is either evacuated or filled with an inert gas. The photoelectric sensitivity is given by I is equal to S into phi, where I is the photoelectric current, S is the sensitivity, phi is the illumination of the cathode. So the sensitivity S is expressed in amperes per watt. Then next one is the photovoltaic cells. The figure, the photovoltaic cells is shown. So this is the thin transparent metal layer upper, then semiconductor material, and lower is the metallic base plate. So this is a circuit. The principle of photovoltaic cell is illustrated in the figure. It consists of a base metal plate, a semiconductor material and a thin transparent metal layer. When light strikes the transparent metal layer and the semiconductor material, and voltage is generated. This voltage depends on the load resistance R. The open circuit voltage is a logarithmic function, but linear behavior may be obtained by decreasing the load resistance. It is used in a light exposure meter for photographic work.